Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Coop out of Cooper's Mobile Mechanics, and if you don't know already, I'm a mobile mechanic, and what I like to do is just to show you what it's like day in, day out, working as a mobile mechanic. And I'll tell you what, today feels different. It is cold. It's got the temperature's really dropped now. Winter's coming. I think I'm gonna have to put my hat on pretty soon because yeah, it's getting really cold now. It's sunny at least. It's dry. I think I'd rather be cold than wet, to be honest with you. Working as a mobile mechanic, if it's raining in the morning, if you get wet first thing in the morning, you just stay wet all day, and it can be miserable. So yeah, I think I'd rather it be dry like it is now and cold, but it is cold. So the first job this morning, we've got this Mini for a service and a brake fluid change. So this year it's due the oil and filter with the pollen filter, brake fluid change, and then obviously full inspection of the vehicle. So just doing the job at the customer's workplace, over in the car park. Luckily we've got a couple of spaces, got a nice little space here, so it's not too tight to work in. Sometimes working at customers' workplaces can be really tight. Sometimes there's not much space to work. There's not a lot of parking spaces, but quite lucky with this one today. I've already done the brake fluid change on the rears. So if you've seen one of my videos already, you'll know that I've mentioned before about when I'm doing a service with a brake fluid change, what I'll do is do the brake fluid change on the rear brakes first, because you want to start with the furthest from the master cylinder. So I'll start with the passenger side rear, then driver side rear. So I'll do that first, do all the inspection on the back, so it's suspension, brakes, tyres, things like that. Then I'll jack the front up, bleed the front, and while I'm doing that, I'll do the oil and filter and all that sort of thing, and doing the full inspection of the front. Anything I've spotted on this one so far is the front tyres. So you see there, getting quite bold on the outer edge. The tread isn't too bad, well, particularly on the driver's side, it's not that bad at all. But sort of around this area, it's about 3.5 millimeters, and then as you get obviously towards here, it's getting a lot lower. They're clearly wearing a lot more on the outer edge, same on the driver's side as well. So we're recommending to get 2 new front tyres, but also getting the tracking, getting the wheel alignment checked. So if the wheel alignment is out, so if the wheels are towing in a little bit too much, and then that'll be why they're sort of scrubbing and wearing on the outer edge. But other than that, there's nothing else to report really. Everything's in good condition. These slightly corroded springs, nothing's broken. These boots dust covers on here are sort of pulling away, really common on these, particularly on BMWs and Minis. They do break up, but it's not causing any issues at the minute. So at some point, obviously if it's going to need a spring or something in the future, you just probably change that at the same time, wouldn't you? Right then, it is Wednesday sort of lunchtime. I'm on my second job of the day. I've already done a set of front brake pads on a Volkswagen Touareg, and then I was going to be going over to do heater blower on a transporter, but when I was on my way over, it's a builder's van, and he phoned me up as I was going over and said they need the van, they're going to take it over because they need to go and get some parts. So I thought I'll go over, so we're doing a bit of a shuffle around. So instead I've gone over to the third job of the day, which is a Jaguar XF. So we're going to be doing a service on that with the oil and filter and air filter. And then I'll go over and do the heater blower after, once I'm done here. And then hopefully I can get finished by about 3:30, because it's freezing. I don't know if I've said already, but it's getting cold. And the worst thing is, I know it's going to be getting colder as well. It's probably about 2 degrees today. So, you know, right in the depth of the winter, could get down to about -5, -6 degrees or something like that, which is going to be bad. Yeah, it's trying to do something. It's either trying to rain or trying to snow. Not too sure, but I don't like it. It's cold. So the oil and filter and the air filter, they're all done. I'm just doing the inspection part of the service now. So just checking the brake pad measurements, brake disc measurements, checking the tyres, just making sure everything is looking okay, and then I'll be giving a report to the customer, just to let them know sort of what condition the car's in. But so far, overall, I've checked all over the front, all the steering suspension components, all at the rear. Everything's looking good. It's been a well-maintained car. This car is actually the owner of the Mini, the timing chain that I did on the last video. So when he did that, he actually booked in for a service on his wife's Jaguar, which is nice. It's always good to get a couple of new customers on board. Well, so now with the transporter, we're just doing the heater blower. You might recognise this one. Well, I came and had a look at this a couple of months ago. So the heater, the fans, when you put them on, it's really noisy. The blower motor, I think the bearings inside are just completely gone. But the temperature gauge as well, the knob, sorry, is really floppy. Showed you on a previous video when I took it off. The back of the knob is broken off, so the cable, it's not actually doing anything. It's not sliding where it should be. Getting to the heater blower is fairly straightforward. I just want to get this panel under here. I'm going to get that off, and then just want to get all this front cover off. So this strip pulls off here. I'm going to take this side trim off, and then it's just a load of T20 screws really. A couple on the side, couple running along here underneath the bottom, and then there'll be one or two there. Should just be able to pull that off and get to the motor. Now that's off. It's got a one plug going here to get off, and then there's just a load of 5.5mm screws. We've got a couple here, one back there, a couple more up there, and then there's about 8 in total holding it all in. And basically just drop down that way. That's good, isn't it? Spot the difference. Complete different fun, isn't it? Great. Thursday morning, we've got timing belt and water pump to do on this Renault Clio. So we've got a INA timing belt and water pump kit with a Bosch auxiliary belt. Just same process as any other timing belt really. Just want to get everything off out of the way on this side, get the engine mount off, support the engine with a jack. Underneath, get things like the auxiliary belt and crank pulley off, and then it should be a nice, pretty straightforward swap over really. If you've seen my videos before, you know that the first thing I like to do is just read the fault memory. Just make sure there's no faults. So there's no faults in the ECU at the minute, so I know I've got a clean slate to work with. So I know if a fault comes back after doing the timing belt, then it's something that I've done, left something unplugged or something like that. But yeah, we've got a nice clean slate to work with, so I can just crack on and do the timing belt. Alright, so I've got everything off that I need to. I've got the engine mount off. That was a real squeeze trying to get that out. Especially you got your timing cover that's on there, and then you've kind of got to try and slip it out through here, but you've got the fuel pipes in the way, this aircon pipe completely in the way. I have taken off a little bracket there and another one down here just to allow me to move it around a little bit. But yeah, it was really tight trying to get out, so I think getting them back in is going to be fun. But I've got everything lined up and pinned up now. So the engine's at top down centre. Got my locking pin in the cam pulley. The high pressure fuel pump, there's a little pin or a little hole on there you can get a pin through. With these belts as well, they have marks. So there's a mark on there. I've just put a bit of white paint on, and there's a mark there as well. And then there's another one down on the crank. When you get your new belt, usually the new belt will have white lines on here, so you can just line those up so you know everything's bang on. But yeah, everything's out the way now, so I can get this belt off, get the water pump out, and get it all swapped over. One thing to make sure you don't forget, I'm saying this because I just very nearly did forget it, is this cover here. So you need to get this cover off to get the water pump off. So I've just put the new water pump on, and then I went to go put the belt on, and realised I need to get this cover on first. So I'm going to get that on now, and then I can get the belt on. But I think anyone watching this video who's done one of these belts before, everyone's forgotten to put this on at some point. Alright, timing belt's in, tensioned up, everything's torqued up. Just turn the engine over a couple of times, put my locking pins back in, just to make sure everything lines up properly. So now it's just a case of building it all back up and getting it running and get all the coolant bled through. Well, that went well. All done by about 1:30. Just gone to GSF now. Gone to go and collect some bits. I've got the new blower motor for that transporter, so I'm going to go over sometime tomorrow afternoon, go and fit that, and then I've just collected some parts ready for next week. So yeah, it's about was it about 2:30 now, and I'm done, which is nice. I always like it when it's cold. It's nice to finish early, isn't it? Right, Friday. Usually the end of the working week, but unfortunately I'm working Saturday this week. Just got a service on a stitching dispatch to do tomorrow morning. But today I've just got a Renault Clio for a service, and then I'm going to be doing that Passat over there. That's for front and rear brake pads, both at the same address, which is nice. And then after this, I'm going to, what have I got? Oh, the heater blower for that transporter. I've got to go back over there, go and fit that, and then that'll be it. Should be a nice early finish today, which is nice because it's -2 degrees this morning. It's not very nice. It's cold. Winter's definitely here. The service on this Clio is the little 1 litre or 900cc engine, little thing. It's got an oil and filter to do. Did notice actually the coolant was a little bit low, so I've just topped that up. I've just reset the service light and had the computer on there just checking any fault memory. There was a fault stored in there, a historical fault for engine overheating. I've noticed they've got a bottle of antifreeze in the back, so I'm assuming the coolant level has dropped at some point and it's overheated. So while I'm under there, well, I'm going to check above, and then while I'm underneath as well, I'm just going to have a good scout around, see if I can find any coolant leaks or anything. Obvious places like radiator, water pump, thermostat housing, things like that. Yeah, just see if I can find anything obvious while I'm here. I've had a good look around. There's no signs of a current coolant leak. We've got sort of old, crusty coolant here. So it looks like it has been leaking at some point. But the thermostat housing down here looks quite new, so I'm assuming that's been replaced fairly recently. It may well have just dropped. Sometimes you get a bit of an airlock and the coolant drops after a little while, but I'll just let the customer know, just get them to monitor it. But anyway, the service is done on the Clio. So we've got this Passat for front and rear brake pads using Delphi. And again, I just noticed the coolant is low on this one as well. So we'll top it up, obviously, and then while I'm down there, I'll just check for anything obvious. I'm not going to go too in depth, but I'll have a look. Things like the water pump, they're really common for leaking on these. But I'll top it up. I'll let the customer know if I do find anything. If not, you might want to get booked in just for some proper diagnosis. Just had someone message me asking for me to go and fit a battery. So I thought, yeah, I could squeeze in a battery replacement today. It's no problem. Just had a look at the address though. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be doing that one today. Yeah, looks like this isn't just going to be a straightforward brake pad replacement, does it? Let's take the discs on the front. Definitely going to need to replace these discs with the pads. There's no way you'd want to put pads on these. See the groove. Look at the groove it's made on the pads. So, yeah, I'm going to have to get some discs for this as well. Well, obviously I need to phone up the customer and just authorise it first, but yeah. Oh, so customers authorised it. GSF, they've got the discs in stock. So they're actually going to come and deliver them over to me, which is nice. So I can do the rear brake pads. I can do that while I wait. Start stripping down the front as well. They should probably be here in about half an hour with the disc, hopefully. So yeah, at least I don't have to go out and get some, which is nice. It's looking much better. Lovely. So I've just got to do the other side. Rear pads are all done. Just got to do the other side and the front, and that'll be on me all done. And then go over and what have I got? Oh, the heater blower or transporter. That looks more like the right one, doesn't it? It's actually the right shape this time. So I'm going to put it in, bolt it all in, and then test that it actually works, and make sure it's not making the same noise, which obviously it won't. But I just want to test it before putting all the trim and everything back in. Obviously, there's no point chucking this in, putting all the trims and everything, and then testing it to then find that something's wrong with it, or maybe it's not working, or still making a noise or something like that. Well, fans all in. Let's see what it sounds like. Perfect. Let's get all the trims back in. Then, because I've had the passenger airbag switch disconnected and the ignition on, that's going to leave a fault code. So I just want to erase that. Obviously the last thing I want is for the customer, when I've left, customer to phone me up tomorrow and say their airbag light's on. I just want to erase that. Just double check, make sure it's off. No airbag light, traction control light, but not interested in that today. That's the end of the video. Obviously I've got the service to do tomorrow, but it's not much point in showing you that, to be fair. Everyone's seen a service before. Hopefully you've enjoyed watching the video. If you have, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment. If there's anything else that you want to see on any videos in the future, drop a comment, just let me know, and I'll see if I can sort out getting any different jobs, like if there's anything in particular that you want to see, anything like that. Yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Who the f*** thought it was a good idea to work on a Saturday?